Who is Uncle Nick? He's the uncle you wish you had. He's a cigar-smoking, aviator-wearing, liquor-loving punk. Basically, he's a fictional version of Bad Pop. So buy Diary of a Misanthrope on Amazon today. The link is in the description.
Good Pop here. I got a whole spread of booze and nothing but bad news. First of all, YouTube or some trolls out there who are flagging me are trying to screw with my cash flow. I have found that some of my videos with me talking about my army stories from the lair are getting age restricted. What is up with that? So today, we're gonna try us a little experiment, so bear with me. I can swear like any sewer pipe sailor out there, and I am accustomed to dropping the F-bombs, you know that. But today, we're gonna try to expand our vocabulary and talk in code and see what happens.
Oh, great.
Relax.
With that being said, we are diving face first into that hairy muff called divorce. And today we have an article from Jen Glentz, the 7 main causes for divorce. You don't need no 7 causes for a divorce. There's only really one cause for divorce, and that's getting married in the first place. That always happens when you put those 3 words together that always hammer you in the hooter. I love you. Idiot! And probably before you said that, you heard this, and those blinders went up, and it sealed the deal for you, bro.
It's okay. Leave it in, you don't have to pull out.
And then you spend the next 18 to 21 years broke as a joke and blinded by, you guessed it, vagina.
Wait, where am I? Where's my pants? I have to go to work.
3 minutes of fun. 18 years on the run.
Yeah.
Just to be fair-minded, and I'm a fair dude, this particular article is written pretty level-headed, even though it was written by a woman, and from female perspective. So there is one glaring omission that must be mentioned. Before we get to that, we're going to go through the rest of the list. So gentlemen, pour yourself a spread of booze, have yourself a shot, because I'm going to pick a fight.
Nobody hopefully enters into a marriage with a person thinking they're going to one day deal with divorce.
I don't really know about that. There's a lot of people out there who make jokes that hint at the insanity within. If you're a woman and you've been with other women out at the bar, you have heard this expression.
Oh, him there? Oh, he's my trainer husband. I want you to be my first husband.
Whatever happened to one and only, together forever, or until death do us part?
Even if there are problems in the relationship, a couple hope that after walking down the aisle, smooching hello to the promise of a life together and getting down on the dance floor, their relationship will fall into place. But it doesn't always happen like that.
Gentlemen, when you get to the end of the aisle, pull out a coin and flip it and hope you win. Because it's 50-50 from there, and it only gets worse.
Oh yeah, just walk out like I'm not going to do anything.
Bye-bye.
Once you're talking second, third marriages and beyond in the realm of stupidity, it is nothing but the realm of diminishing returns. And that is a statistical fact. It is a dark, evil trail that leads to your eventual death. You put that ring on, and it's the one ring to rule them all. Except it rules you, and it sucks the life right out of you. I have a whole playlist of videos of why you should not get married and the consequences thereof. Check it out.
So is there a way to see if your relationship is divorce-proof? Probably not.
For once, a woman has actually beaten me to the logical punch, and I'm gonna drink it.
But there are signs to look for to see if your relationship might be heading down that path. Here are the most popular reasons married couples split up.
All right, everybody. Here we go. You ready for this? I'm ready for this. Let it begin.
Number 1, issues regarding sex.
Well, sex is the cornerstone to intimacy, and reproduction is the cornerstone to the whole marriage contract. Modern women, they don't want to admit that, but that's the way it is. The marriage contract of today probably means many different things to women and maybe some things to men, but historically it has been this. The man provides resources and protection for exclusive reproductive rights and access to the slot seat, which it makes absolutely no sense why some of these women are like, you can't have any guns in the house. Now listen, I signed a contract to protect your fat ass. You can't jump over the 8-foot wall, so I have to fight him. You want me to do? Hit him with pillows?
Is there a difference?
Is there a difference?
I know we're just messing around, but that is the way it has been for eons. The woman raises children, takes care of the home. The man brings stuff in and protects it from anyone or anything that wants to do them harm. And that's what we call a symbiotic relationship. The woman handles half, the man handles half. Together they get it all done. And that's the way it used to be. At least until feminism showed up. And now, women think they can do it all. In fact, they get to the point where they don't even have to have sex with their husbands. The hell with his resources and protection. Oh wait, the law makes them provide them anyway.
You do know I punched the last person that pissed me off.
Things may have been stale or non-existent in the bedroom for quite some time, but while both of you have turned a blind eye to that, there might be more destruction happening to your relationship than you think.
The first thing that comes to mind is the dead fish laying there. No one likes that. And the second thing that comes to mind, that's not mentioned in this article at all, is the weaponization of sex.
Today, Mary taught us how to manipulate our husbands by withholding sex.
And that would be because this article is written from the female perspective. And if there's one thing women will never, ever admit to, and that is turning sex into a weapon. This is the way it is. They ration it or they use it as the carrot and stick to control. We've all seen these lists on Facebook. You know, the honey-do lists that tells you to do all this crazy stuff. And if you're good, you get a BJ or you get full penetration sex. Yeah. Who wants that? What kind of hell has your life become when you tolerate that going on in your life?
If you wash the car and mow the grass, you get to put the peg D in the slot C tonight.
Get a raise? Because then you're a whore. Or didn't you? Because then you're a stupid whore.
If you're a dude and you're pulling in a majority of the resources, that is not your job.
How dare you! How dare you! Disgusting!
But women have bought into the myth that it's not their job either.
Honey, if you wash the car and mow the lawn, you can play hide the weasel tonight.
As tempting as that sounds, I think I'm going to watch me some porn, then the game, and have a beer. See ya.
15 minutes for the lap dance, a half hour to scrub the guilt off my soul. See you in 45.
Number 2, fighting dirty.
I know this line got a bad laugh in the Matrix sequels, but there is total truth to it.
You do not truly know someone until you fight them.
Because when that happens, the masks come off, the makeup gets wiped off, and it is hooking and gouging, and you know what it's all about when it's over.
All couples have their arguments, and while that's not always something to worry about, the way the couple argue might be a sign that divorce is imminent.
You're right. Golf clap. Good for you. But in your attempts to remain neutral and logical, you missed a few things. You hint at it. You kind of beat around the bush a little bit. You know what I mean, dudes? But you don't really go into detail.
If a couple does not attempt to regulate emotions or validate each other during arguments, then the escalation in anger and tension can ruin a marriage. This can look like blaming, name-calling, and shaming. It will build resentment and create a power imbalance that loses sight of what really matters in a relationship.
Please, gentlemen, pay attention to those 3 categories. Blame, shame, and name-calling. Who does that more? Is it the innie or the outie who resorts to personal attacks? You dudes, you're some smart fornicators. You know the answer, and this one's for you.
And?
I didn't realize it was possible for a woman to be unusually irritable.
Now listen, I'm not saying men don't do that either. You know, we've all called our significant other a female breeding dog, either to her face or behind her back, and then we slept on the couch. But when you play stupid games, you certainly will win yourself some stupid prizes. To all my younger viewers out there, do not, I repeat, do not whip out the B word. That's like handing the checkered flag over to her and giving her free game to talk about your family, your friends, your penis, how big it is, or not. And that one time when you had 2 or 3 too many shots of whiskey and you can only get 50%, all her friends already know that too.
Fascinating story. You thought of adapting it for the stage?
Number 3, trying to fix each other.
What the hell are you, some kind of mechanic? Although when we're talking about women, that is a very apt metaphor, I'm just saying. We've all been there. Take our car to the mechanic for a simple oil change. And then they look under the hood. Next thing you know, you're on your lunch break listening to your voicemail. and it's going to cost $3,000 or $4,000 to get your car fixed. The car was running fine. All it needed was oil, but all of a sudden it needs new brakes, exhaust, and a splash pan. What the hell is a splash pan?
Temper trigger.
And this is a perfect metaphor for a relationship. If you've been walking around on this planet in your meat suit for 2+ decades, everyone has some issues. And by the time you hit your 30s, you pretty much know what those issues are, and to you, they're probably not that bad. That is, until you meet that female mechanic who finds all those little things that's going on, and she jacks up the prices on you. And you know that the issues, they don't really cost that much. But you're going to have to pay for the labor, if you know what I mean.
Growing apart from the person you married or just no longer getting a kick out of their bad habits or frustrating ways is another main reason couples want to call it quits.
There are many things between men and women which are very similar. But this is the Grand Canyon. Because men, when they decide, hey, I'm going to put a ring on that and write a check against it, they understand she is who she is. But women, I don't even know why, but they refuse to accept that we are who we are. They go out of their way to ram their hand all the way up in you and turn you into a sock puppet and do what they want you to do and change you to be who they want you to be. And then, if you don't change, they rip your heart out through your wallet. I'm not saying the author of this article is wrong, but there are some lies of omission, if you know what I mean.
This can be a huge predictor to divorce because what that person fails to understand is their own responsibility in the relationship. By placing the blame entirely on the other person and refusing to examine your own actions, it will cause a large emotional block between the two partners. If this continues, then over time they will begin to emotionally isolate themselves, which could lead to other issues like infidelity.
That's great. At least we have one woman that knows this. How about the rest of you line up and take that class? Because this is one of the main things that causes divorce. In fact, it's declining our society. And that is the refusal to take responsibility for your actions and decisions. Why take responsibility for yourself when you can blame someone else? That way you never have to change.
I said I was wrong. I didn't say I changed. I haven't.
And that is why people who do this kind of behavior, women, have a never-ending cycle of the exact same crap as they go along in life. These relationships all progress the same way, and then they end the same way. On and on, until they hit the wall, and then they cry, all men are the same. Wah, you did it to yourself. You. Listen, I had to do that. I had to realize I was the common denominator in all of my failed relationships and bad decisions. And I changed it, I sucked it up, and I didn't spit it out. That's just a metaphor. It's not an invitation to gay people out there. I'm off the menu. I didn't get any homo suspicion points for that, did I?
I think you're all right.
I'm good.
Number 4, lack of commitment.
Okay, I will admit that there are problems with this on both sides of the equation. And I have to say the description after this, it hits the target, but it is far from the bullseye. Because it doesn't dig into the why there is a lack of commitment.
If one partner starts feeling like they are the main one working at the relationship, they'll eventually get burned out and want out of the relationship.
Yes, that applies to both sides, but what is the main thing feeding into that? One word, expectations, i.e. entitlement. For the past 50 years, men have been raised by these single mothers to put these women up on pedestals. The men are taught to treat these women like princesses. They deserve everything. Give them all your love, all of your respect, and all of your money. Why? Because they deserve it, right? Where?
You can't stop our love!
On the flip side, you have daughters being raised to expect this and getting pissed off when it isn't provided. And they are taught if this isn't provided, you can do better. You can always do better and trade up. It doesn't matter how old you are. Except you do not deserve those things unless you earn them, and biology very much cares how old you are. And so do the men that'll write a check against it. So for the love of God, start respecting men and ignoring feminism for a change. Because only one of them lies to you. And we know which one that is, and it doesn't have a penis. Feminism, they sold you the crazy Kool-Aid that you could bang the entire football team, and then somebody will pay full retail for you and marry you. That's not the case. We have been telling you that's BS for years. But instead of listening to us, the target demographic, you pretend to be the victim.
This is a double standard. It's patriarchy. It's sexism. Wah!
Listen, life is not fair. And I didn't make the rules. So if you don't play by the rules and you lose the game, don't blame me. You don't get to change reality with your feelings, because reality doesn't care, and neither do I.
Number 5, infidelity.
This ought to be good. I got enough liquor. Go.
If you find out your partner has strayed from the relationship and cheated on you, it may be really hard to salvage the relationship afterward.
And most people choose not to, because in today's day and age, it simply is not worth it. And now, despite the fact that women say this is a boys' club, according to research, women are cheating at higher rates than men now. Men and women, they react to being cheated on differently, because they both do it for different reasons. Men cheat because basically, we don't get that many opportunities to hit the pink pocket. And if we cheat, even in this system where the gun is to our head, we have to be really unhappy. Listen, women, in today's world where the system is rigged, there's a gun to our heads, and they risk everything to include their freedom, how crappy do you have to be? How far do you have to push him and piss him off when he reaches the level where that risk is possibly worth it? Now, I'm not saying he should do it, but I understand.
Just jacking it on the telephone.
Does internet porn know you're cheating on it?
On the flip side, and get ready for this, women cheat usually to be vindictive. All of the things that she's using to justify her actions in this, you don't even know about. Or if you do, she told you to your face that it was okay. But no, it's not okay. She lied, she deceived you, and then she'll spin it up and blame it all on you. It's all your fault. Even though she's getting 6 to 8 inches of Peg D run through her on a regular basis, it's all your fault because you went hunting 10 years ago.
We have a neurological problem here.
There's something wrong with my brain?
Oh, yeah.
But this is not the end of the differences between men and women. I got more. When men and women are caught cheating, the reactions of everyone around them, polar opposites. When a dude is caught cheating, he's a pig, he's a cad, he's selfish. Nobody wants to hear your side of the story, but better yet, no one cares. But when a woman is caught cheating, people will provide excuses to fill the blanks and make excuses for her.
He must have been doing something wrong. He wasn't filling her needs to cause her to do this.
Do you see the difference?
Man.
Ladies, you can call BS if you wish, but it's the truth. Even you ladies who are smart enough to watch this show, half of you probably did it. And the difference between you and the other ladies out there in La La Land, you probably learned from your mistakes. And that is why we will keep entertaining you for as long as you care to tune in. And if you decide to cheat on me and watch somebody else, it's okay, because I probably wasn't fulfilling your needs. Well, go watch me some Space Ghost.
Number 6, lack of appreciation.
Not that I know anything about that, but I do have to ask. For who? Historically, and up to very recently, men were the primary breadwinners. And as it stands now, 60% of men are out earning their wives in a 2-income home. As a dude, you are twice as likely to work overtime. And if you're in a high-need job, you might work up to 60, maybe even 80 hours a week. And then you come home to a woman who thinks it's not her job to cook and clean because of feminism. And she expects you to do your half of the housework. It doesn't matter how tired you are, or if your buddy fell to his death, or any turmoil at all in your life, you better get the dishwasher unloaded. Even if you didn't use those dishes, because you know who did. Your wife and the 2 vaginal turds that you're paying for. So again, and I do have to ask, who is actually experiencing the lack of appreciation here? Nothing shows more appreciation or is received with more appreciation like a hot meal in a shower after a long, hard mother fornicating day. You really want the appreciation when you come home after a long day? Just get a dog. Because the dog's always happy. Oh, here he comes. Woo! Here it is! Yay!
I pissed on the floor.
Yeah. What, your kids? This is your kids.
Well, now that we've got that completely behind us, is there cake?
If you were married, at some point before you got married, you probably talked about the type of marriage that you wanted. It's only after you've been married a while and somebody wants to change that up, usually women, it turns into a huge ball of dung being rolled by a beetle. At that point, we're not even talking about lack of appreciation. We're talking about an overabundance of deception and the 3-shell Monty. Because you knew what the arrangement was, and now you're trying to change it. Well, I don't appreciate that. Moving on.
Number 7, no one is paying attention.
Oh, I'm sorry, what?
Good communication is always the best foundation for any relationship, but so is making sure you are listening to your spouse.
You're absolutely right, and I agree with you 100%. But, and here it comes, gentlemen. If you're expecting me to listen to a bunch of nagging from a screeching nagger, it ain't gonna happen. You don't like how I do stuff around here? You want to pay the bills and take some responsibility? Well, get a job, nagger. I know, gentlemen, it sounds like something bad, but I don't care. Oh, look at that. We got another video age restricted. Sharker. Want to smell it? No. With all the comedy aside, communicating and sex, they're the two biggest things on this list. You got to chatter up to get the pink pocket. But if you don't get the pink pocket, you don't chatter up. It's a vicious circle. If you're engaging in coitus from behind and you're reading the TV guide on her back, you're doing it wrong. Honey, we got the Civil War documentary on the History Channel tonight. Did you set the DVR? All right, we have arrived at the end of the list. And if you were paying attention, you know the guy behind you. What's missing? One word. 5 letters. We've talked about it before, and it is the number one reason for fights and divorce. You guessed it, money. And that is the dead giveaway that lets you know that this article was written by a woman. Money isn't just the number one reason for divorce. It's also probably the main reason why women get married in the first place, you bunch of wife-stitutes.
Pop, don't let it go. X gon' give it to ya. He gon' give it to ya. X gon' give it to ya.
Now, women, you can claim men are the most shallow sex there is, but it doesn't make you right. We'll check out your dials and pegs. We'll monkey neck you when you walk by. But we're not gonna write a check against it if you're not a good person. But all a man has to do to screw up the date and ruin any chances he has with you in the future is say one sentence wrong. And most likely, he won't even say it to you. He'll look at the waiter and say, hey, separate checks, please. And at that point, any chances of hitting that pink pocket, they're long gone. And so are you. So you can call me a shallow dog all you want. I don't care. But you're about as deep as a puppy's piss puddle.
You were right. Counts for nothing if you can't defend it.
And with that being said, this concludes part 1 of divorce. We talked about all the causes that make it happen, and next week we're going to talk about how to survive it and get through it. And it kind of ties into an episode that we already made, and we called that The Long Game. In fact, check it out. And please check out the links below, Patreon and PayPal. Shoot us a donation so we can stock the bar. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the bell, you bunch of cheating bitches. Can you imagine that in a comedy show? Oh, we have a lot of naggers out here. And everybody gets all upset. I'm like, I'm talking about wives. I've actually answered those phones. Sergeant Jim's not here. What's going on? So, because he went to the field. Yeah, you sucked some other guy's dick and okay. Was he there doing CPR on your ass while you're banging that other dude? No? Alright, it's your fault.